Hey, welcome everyone. Happy Monday. Chris Gore here. And the Film Threat gang is waiting behind the scenes. Today on the show, How to Train Your Dragon. Is it really a story of how to do a live action translation from an animated feature? We'll find out based on the success. Alan Ng has the box office. Plus, your favorites are back and we've got tons of news today. A new Naked Gun trailer. Another trailer you'll be shocked by. Shocked, I say. So let's get things started. It's a hot Monday. Yes, it is. It's very hot outside. It's hot here. So we gotta get things rolling. Let's go. Let's start the show. It's Monday and Alan's in heat. Where is he? Here.
Did you just say everyone, I was in heat?
You were in heat. Yeah, you're in heat.
Yeah, I'm in heat. God. Okay. Thanks, Chris.
Dude, I am so hot here. I got to turn up the air. I don't care. If you hear my air conditioner, it's just on. I'm sorry, folks. It's hot for the first time here. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Good for being in heat.
Yeah. Hot flashes, Alan. It happens to everyone at a certain point.
I'm not doing as well as Alan is apparently. But,
yeah, well, you know what Alan likes to say.
Penis dick.
That's exactly what Alan likes to say.
No, that's the next big hit.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to play this, but I can't. I can't play that.
Is that what was getting us?
Yes, it was getting us. I can't. Lori just gave me a stern look. I'm in trouble. But hey, let's see who's here. Everybody sound off. Let's go.
Hi. I hope my audio is okay. I'm not at home right now. But yeah, Steph, my nerdy home. I saw How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm really excited to talk about it.
What's happening, y'all? Dante from Verbal Riot. I have not seen How to Train Your Dragon, but I'm here anyway.
I saw How to DEI Your Dragon. Clearly, Steph was able to ignore the Black, Asian, and Inuit Vikings. I was not, but we'll talk about it.
Oh, Alan, Film Threat, there are 12 dogs at my doorstep right now. Here's a great title for a movie. Penis Dick. Penis Dick. Do it. Make it. Someone make it.
Why don't they? This is a reference, just so everyone knows where this joke came from. There is a real movie being made right now called Dick Toes. It's about a guy with 10 penises for toes. Rob, that's a real movie. Hey, Rob, introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm RMB, Robert Meyer Burnett, coming over from the Burnett work on YouTube, and man, I could do a lot with 10 penises for toes.
It's a real movie.
How does that even work?
If
I
you're
don't
really
know.
flexible.
I like
that's all.
I really like weird.
Do the toes get hard or like?
Depends on what you do to
I have
them.
no idea.
Yeah,
I'm thinking way too much about this.
God, I mean, I have to worry about the size of something else, and now I'd have to worry about the size of my feet too. That sucks.
There you go. Okay, let's see who's here in the comments. Let's go, Badger.
Jeremiah Hembry, member for 14 months. Can you interview Paul Dini? I think he meant Paul Dini before the Superman movie comes out. Yeah, Paul Dini's great.
I would love to. Probably would not talk to us.
Probably. Thumbs up 1981 for $1.99 just to get Chris to say "bish please" again. Can you,
bish please, bish please. There you go.
Lord Comet for $5. Afternoon, friends. Chris Gore looks like a DBZ character going Super Saiyan or SSJ, whatever. And there's no scarier trailer than the one for Dick Toes, IMO.
Well, there isn't a trailer yet, but it's coming soon.
Lord Comet for $2 gives the new term foot job a new role.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's true.
And lastly, want to mention, check out and support the Film Threat shop. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. I am modeling today our Jaws inspired shirt, and I just got Jaws on 4K. That's
Nice.
right, Rob. It's out. I got it. It's here.
Well, it's been out before. That's the 50th anniversary. Is that
Yes.
the Steelbook?
Yes, it not Steelbook, but it has an extra documentary.
Yeah.
Jaws at 50. So
Are you
yes.
going to Martha's Vineyard this weekend?
I am not. Are you?
I was planning on it. There's a situation with my family that might prevent me from doing so.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. Sorry to hear that. But I mean, Jaws at 50. We're gonna have Star Wars at 50 coming up soon. It's crazy times for nerds. So, all right, Alan, let's get started. Box office.
Yeah.
We all know that How to Train Your Dragon is number one. For those of us who have seen it, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I kind of think if you're going to do a live action of a beloved animated feature, I guess that's the way to do it. They didn't make too many egregious changes. I don't think the change in Astrid, it didn't bother me. I thought, why didn't they just make her blonde? Why was
They
she
even
not
put
blonde?
little blonde
Yeah.
wisps in her hair just
You
to
could-
fucking troll us.
She can just be blonde. What's wrong with that? So I don't know. I'll go through it here. How to Train Your Dragon, number one, 84.6 million debut. Lilo and Stitch, number two, 15.5 million. Cumulative, 366 domestic. Yep. Number three, Materialist, a movie I quite enjoyed, 12 million. In number four, Mission Impossible with 10.5 million, 166. Number five, Ballerina, 9.7 million, 42 million domestic. Six, Karate Kid, Legends, 5.2 million, 44 million domestic. Number seven, Final Destination Bloodlines, number four, or 4 million, 130 million. That one's a hit. Phoenician Scheme, number eight, 3.2 million, 12.9 million domestic. Life of Chuck at number 9, 2.3 million in 1,000 theaters. Now it's gone wide release, so that's good. Sinners still in the top 10 with 1.5 million.
Yeah.
275.
That's not going to last very long.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways,
Some things of note: How to Train Your Dragon Global is 200 million, which is respectable.
Wow. Very
Lilo and Stitch has already hit 825 million. It is outperforming Minecraft when it came out. Minecraft is chugging along. Who knows if it'll get to the $1 billion point? And then Materialist, amazingly enough, Materialist beat out some. It did very well for a rom-com, for an indie film. Beat out Life of Chuck handedly. The box office seems to be doing pretty well at the moment.
I'm gonna guess no one else saw The Materialist other than Alan and I.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
I would strongly recommend it. It really is, really just dissects modern dating and how people do the math or check the boxes to even consider that they would be a match. So,
But I think anything with Pedro Pascal at this point is a hard sell for most people.
I 100% agree with you. The way his character is handled is amazing. There is a reveal about him at the end of the movie that is,
He's trans.
I mean,
He's gay.
Gay trans.
it's I would say it's not a crying game type thing.
Oh,
No, it's not. No, it's not even that close.
It's not that close, but it's in the
Oh my
like
gosh.
you're not.
You're overhyping it, Chris.
I'm overhyping it, but
Chris would never
it-
do that, Alan. When would he ever
No,
overhype
I
something?
know.
Stop that.
I'm just trying to manage expectations.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
you-
that
it's
mind blowing.
He
it's
takes off
worth
his clothes and he
seeing.
has breast.
No, it's laughable. Do you want to know? Should I put
Yes.
a
No,
spoiler
no.
warning?
Yeah, don't tell.
Please, I
What
want
does
to
the
know. I'm
chat
not going to
say?
see it.
He
I'm a
has
masochist owner.
nipples.
He has a third
What
nipple
does
like
the
Chandler.
chat say?
Chandler Bing.
What's the
No,
chat say?
I would say this is a spoiler, and I would refrain from.
He has a nubbin.
from doing that.
The nubbin,
All right,
yes.
all right. I won't spoil it. It's
don't spoil it.
good. It's worth it. Anyways, what do we
It's
take
worth
from
learning.
this for those who saw Dragon, or looking at the health of the box office? What are your thoughts across the board?
People are going
Yeah,
to the
the-
movies, man.
The
They're having a
two
good
live
time.
actions-
I like
I'm sorry,
that.
go ahead.
There's a lot of diversity in terms of what kind of movie you can see. You know,
Yes.
on every different level. There's indie films, there's big budget Hollywood remakes, there's franchise pictures. What's not to love? I mean, it's the summer movie season and it seems to be chugging along. I would hope that, you know, movies like Life of Chuck would do better, but
Yeah.
It's a
They
zero.
really
I don't
haven't-
like those
I
type
like
of
that
movies.
movie
I'm
a lot.
sorry.
The
They haven't
chat
promoted it.
wants me to
I gotta
spoil.
watch it.
The chat wants me to spoil
Ah.
the thing with Pedro
it.
Pascal. Close your ears, Dante, Rob, Badger,
that's fine.
I want to know.
Steph. Close your ears. Here is
You're gonna
the
be so
spoiler.
underwhelmed by it. You're gonna be so.
It's a
underwhelmed.
big no. You got to hear it. It's played so well. So Pedro Pascal is 6 foot tall in the movie, and there's a thread in the movie that no woman wants to date a guy under 6 foot. He has to be 6 foot, worth in the millions, have a great job, whatever. So Pedro Pascal's character's 6 foot. There's a scene where Dakota Johnson, she plays a character named Lucy, notices he has some odd scars on his body. He had
Oh my
surgery to lengthen him from a 5'6" man to 6 foot. It's played funny when it's revealed.
A real
It's-
crying game.
It's like
Gattaca.
it's
Yeah.
weird.
I told you.
And he does this thing where he kind of stoops how tall he used to be, and the whole audience loses it. So he's actually a 5'6" person stretched to 6 foot, which I guess is a surgery that's possible.
It is.
yeah,
Yeah.
It is an actual
is.
surgery. Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
It
And then-
is. It's,
and then-
the leg lengthening surgeries are real.
Yeah.
It does play into the male insecurity of that is exact thing, that women will not date men under 6
6
feet.
foot, yeah.
So that makes men who get this surgery kind of like desperate, like, okay, I'm too short, I haven't had luck in dating, so I'm gonna go get this surgery and maybe I'll have luck later. And you can see like the progress, but it is an incredibly like dangerous and painful surgery as well.
It fucks with your
Yeah.
hips and your back, and like,
Yeah.
don't do it, guys.
Well, being
that's
someone who
awful,
is naturally 6'1",
You're huge.
I've learned that women don't like to date Asians.
There you go. But anyways,
just
it's
be
played.
proud to be a short king, man. Like, what the
Yeah.
hell?
Yeah, I know. I honestly don't like that they're actually showing that in a movie. Like, oh, I'm like more women want me now because I'm 6 foot tall. It's such a bad message to send to men.
No,
well,
It's
it
the same
is-
thing- it's the same
is
thing with
that-
women, though, right?
even
The point
even
is
even
that-
if it is played for as a joke.
Yeah, I mean the point is that men are insecure and that they need to fulfill those insecurities to allow women to check those boxes. So being rich was one and being tall was the other.
Yeah,
Mm.
that was pretty much it. All right,
What an indictment of our current state of affairs.
Rob, I think you would like Materialists a lot.
Yeah, I
And
want to. I
Celine's
I
song-
love past lives.
6'6".
Celine's
6
song
feet
has an
tall.
eye. She is a real director. She is
Yeah.
so good. Go see it.
Well,
All right,
I'm
She shoots
thinking,
on film.
I liken Celine's song to David Mamet in the sense of every scene means something. There's a point to every scene, to every line, and that nothing is wasted. That words are so important in this movie, and that's why I love that movie. One main reason.
let's talk about The Naked Gun. A new trailer dropped. We will have to cut this out or mute it, I'm sure. But let's take a look at this trailer with the new Frank Drebin, played by Liam Neeson.
That
Let's
first
go.
trailer gets a great reaction every time I've
Yeah.
seen it with like regular people, like in a theater.
Yeah, here we go. Let's watch it.
Oh, we can't see it.
Kill
We
a
see
man
the
for
numbers.
can't
revenge.
see
There's
it.
no going back.
Oh, shit. What's going on?
That's why I was vamping. Sorry.
Hang on. I got to back it up.
Oh yeah, hold on.
You got to remove that, Alan.
Professionals here.
All right.
Here, I'm trying to run the show. Let's start this over. All right, here we go. The new Naked Gun is here. Let's take a look at the trailer.
Back?
I mean,
Wow.
look, I don't know that this will be as good as previous films in the series. It looks dumb, but maybe we just need this. I mean, we're laughing at OJ and poop jokes and BJ jokes. I mean,
they were done well.
they were done. There was look. There's an even better one. We saw Alan and I saw a longer cut in Cinevega or CinemaCon. You saw that too, Rob.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one with the infrared involving a dog. That's all I'll say.
Oh, it's disgusting.
And it was insane. Insane. So
when this first got announced and everyone was like, oh, I was like, this might be good because Liam Neeson does that, or Liam Neeson, he does that deadpan really good. Like Leslie, that was really good. Damn.
What do you guys think?
Yeah. Excellent trailer. I think like we've been deprived of really good comedies for so long. This really
Yeah.
I agree.
Seriously,
absolutely.
because of the Taken movies and stuff. He's perfect in this. He is so perfect in this role.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. My only concern is, nowadays comedies aren't great because we're holding back, or filmmakers are holding back, not to offend. And if this falls in that same category, it's not going to be a good movie.
Well, I'll be there. I mean, I've always loved these films. And I don't know. I wonder, will it have a smart layer to it? I don't know. There's always, they're showing kind of the dumb jokes in the trailer.
Yeah, I agree with Davina though. I think that script they're showing, like you just said, dumb jokes. Pam Anderson and Liam Neeson do look committed. But it really comes. Look, I think that the problem with these spoof films is people have become like, you go back and you watch Blazing Saddles and you go back and you watch Airplane. They still work today. Top Secret. But then what happened was, we were talking about this morning, but you ended up having the like bring in the Spartans or whatever, and they're just throwing out pop culture references. There wasn't like, I Am Serious and Don't Call Me Shirley. I mean,
kind of classical though.
That transcends eras, but a lot of those spoof movies recently, they got kind of lame because it was whatever was in the zeitgeist in the last year.
Right.
That was it.
You go back and you watch Not Another Teen Movie. Is that the one with Chris Evans?
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I like that one.
It's pretty, and you look at that because it works as a comedy and kind of as a spoof of teen movies, because it's not just referencing, it's sending up a whole genre the same way that Blazing Saddles did, or Airplane.
Well, another trailer dropped you guys may not have seen.
Oh, by the way, I just want to mention, I'm currently trying to work out tomorrow an interview with David Zucker.
Oh, he'll have a lot to say about this.
Yeah.
All right.
And okay, thanks, Alan, for that.
You're welcome.
That's cool. Can't wait to see
just
that.
promoting the interview channel.
Yes, Film Threat has a whole channel just for our interviews. A new trailer for the Fantastic Four dropped.
Oh no!
Probably didn't even know.
Not again.
Probably didn't know, and it features H.E.R.B.I.E, the robot.
Who voices H.E.R.B.I.E again?
I actually don't know.
Aquafina.
Not like the answer.
We'll look that up.
Zendaya.
But let's take a look at this. Again, I'll just preface: the more I see, the less I like of this film.
Yep.
I feel I was really looking forward to this. Just there's a lot of new footage in here too. So let's take a look. Here we go.
The Fantastic Four. Their amazing powers help keep our world safe. But like any modern family, they sometimes need a helping hand. Meet H.E.R.B.I.E, the state-of-the-art personal assistant that does everything without a single complaint. And when trouble appears, he's a valuable member of the team. Looks like a delicious meal is on the menu for tonight.
H.E.R.B.I.E, how's that sauce coming? That is fantastic. Is this guy good?
So bring H.E.R.B.I.E into your home today.
Hello, H.E.R.B.I.E.
And live a better life tomorrow. Ask your H.E.R.B.I.E to get tickets now to see Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four in theaters July 25th.
Okay, what do you think?
Nah.
Pass.
I noticed Sue wasn't helping in the kitchen.
Yeah, that's Herbie's job.
That would be.
I don't know. I mean, it's trying to be cute, and it's got that sort of Marvel quippy kind of humor. We see that H.E.R.B.I.E, I guess, assists with Franklin. Who wants to bet H.E.R.B.I.E delivers Franklin?
H.E.R.B.I.E will be available to buy for a couple $100
as a popcorn bucket.
As a popcorn bucket.
There's a popcorn bucket of H.E.R.B.I.E.
Murder you.
What do you think? You guys don't sound very excited.
You know
I'm
what?
so
Okay,
apathetic about it.
I can't believe I'm asking this out of a Fantastic Four movie, but who is this movie for? Like, I'm starting to not understand who this movie's for anymore. Like,
It's for those who hung out this long with Marvel.
It is?
Like, who are they targeting? I don't understand the marketing here. Like, I don't get what's happening.
Girl boss moms with emotionally unavailable beta husbands.
I mean, with that trailer, I would say families, like, because he's adorable.
Yeah, I would say it's the companion piece of Superman. Whoever Superman doesn't capture, that's what Fantastic Four is.
Oh boy,
is for.
Yeah, but
I just look, man. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of properties that you can fill with. Fantastic Four is the first family of. I'm trying to watch my language. It's the first family of Marvel. Like, what are we doing here, people? Like, if anything to get right, it should be the Fantastic Four.
It would seem to be easy.
That should be the thing to get right.
But there's
decades.
I know, but like with now, with how you have to portray women, you can't portray Sue how she was back then in the comics. You can't portray her.
But it takes place in the 60s.
Exactly. We would love to see that, but you can't do that anymore.
It takes place in
We
a
would love to see that.
modernized 60s where
Yes.
there's no racial injustice and everyone is equal. It's the world they wish it was that they keep showing us. And the reason I have a problem with that, insert Asian Vikings and Black Vikings, is because all that gets diluted is all of a sudden you get people that thinking that's the way the world was. And then you are doomed to repeat history if you fucking sanitize it, which is what they're doing.
I actually think that's a great point. Another thing that the film doesn't do is we haven't seen anything about this film other than we've been given it's a trope trailer. These are just tropes about the Fantastic Four. There's nothing to do with what are the stakes, what is the story that's being told here, other than we're in this idyllic world of tomorrow that's supposed to be this version. If this took place in the actual 1960s and the Fantastic Four were the only superhero team and they could play off civil strife and they could also play off, tune in, drop out, the whole Summer of Love, they could play in, it would have been a far more interesting milieu to put these heroes in. Yeah, in the Cold War.
Race,
but still they've given us the Disney world of tomorrow. This is really Tomorrowland is what it is.
It's Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
And it takes place in the Tomorrowland. But okay, if it does, why don't we have, other than people waving at the Fantastic Four, what is this story? What about this story makes it compelling? Like in Captain America, the First Avenger, you have this scrawny little guy who's been given the super soldier serum, and he has to step up and become a leader. That's an interesting character story to document, to follow the Steve Rogers journey, Tony Stark's journey. He's a selfish, he sleeps with lots of women, he has a lot of money, he has no conscience, and then he gets a crisis of conscience, and he realizes he has to be a better person and fight for his own soul and the soul of his company against his mentor, who's he realizes is not the person he thought he was. These are classic storytelling tropes that are eternal. What is the story of this movie? All we know is that, okay, Galactus comes to Earth.
Right, and not even our Earth. So why do I care about their Earth? This perfect idealistic Earth.
Yeah, and it's like this. Okay, so
no offense,
but what is going
Earth
on with them? Like and we know that it's a period of time because she's late for a period, meaning she's pregnant. Goes, oh, you're late for dinner. No, I'm late. Pregnant. Oh, you're gonna have a baby, and then we see Franklin Richards born. So we know that there's a span of time that this movie covers. But I really have no sense in all of these trailers. Why do I want to watch the story of these four people? Other than the fact that they're the Fantastic Four and there's been 4 previous movies with them, I'm supposed to already know. But this trailer hasn't shown me anything that I want to go out and see that I haven't seen before.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like these trailers that we've been given, you mentioned Captain America, the first Avenger movie, when you saw those trailers, that really showed you like Captain America's like his morality, his heart, his morals, his center, his core in the trailer, and then he gets transformed into Captain America. But you saw Steve Rogers as this weak little young boy or young man, but you still had a sense of it, like his morality through just the trailer. In this, you don't really get the sense of who these characters are. And
we have
that
to
just
guess.
tells me like, yeah, you have to guess at who these characters are. What is their moral center? What do they care about? I don't know. I have no
But
idea.
unfortunately, it
Because
seems
these
like
trailers haven't showed us.
if you just watch the trailers, it seems like the whole thing is they're the Fantastic Four and they're established. So we now have to pick our own, which version you think they are, and they're established. And the whole crux of all of it is they don't want things to change. She's pregnant and Mr. Fantastic doesn't know if he can be a dad and doesn't want things to change. And then in amongst that mess up, which first I'd say you have to make us care about them before you introduce this dynamic switch of not changing, because we don't know the status quo they don't want to change. You have Galactus come and basically probably just want her kid.
Yeah. Here's the problem.
But it's a lot.
Here's the problem. Every time we put out a Fantastic Four video, we will invariably get comments saying that we pre-hate this movie having not seen it. And all I can say about that is Marvel and Disney haven't shown. Yeah, we hate everything.
All of it.
Alan, you were saying?
We hate everything. No, it's just Disney and Marvel has not shown us anything or any reason to want to get excited about this movie.
Yeah,
and that's why we're pre-hating it, because at least DC is course correcting, with Superman and giving us something that we want and to get us excited about seeing Superman, but we're not getting anything from them to get us excited to see this movie. And that's why we
also I don't think it's like for me, it's not like pre-hate. It's that whole like I have a barrier when it comes to Marvel because we've been served crap over and over and over again. It's hard to get over that pile of shit. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get over that pile of shit and get excited for something. So like, okay, you're going to give me this movie, but now it's a female Silver Surfer. Sue's going to be the leader. So it's basically the same slop, just in a Fantastic Four,
great
costume.
Point. Where is the male energy coming from in this movie? Because it ain't Pedro and it ain't it's not Johnny Storm, because he's already said he's going to be a modern dude that cries in bed at night.
Here's something I've been waiting to see: a fully realized Reed Richards on screen.
Yeah,
and we have in all the promotion and all the trailers one shot where Reed stretches for the way Kirby drew him was so inspired. He was in his lab. He would just use his arms to stretch and grab something or operate some crazy piece of Kirby machinery. Like we haven't seen anything with Pedro being a leader, being Reed Richards, or even using his powers. And what I'm told is Reed's powers is his intellect, his brain, not his really humanity. The stretching. And I think that's BS. But and the way he was so creative in the comics, like it disappoints me.
But Chris, you could do that. You could have him, do something like solving a problem. He could have been doing something, and you actually see him do something that's incredible. Well, what you have to do is this, and then you show us something of the super science of this Tomorrowland world that Reed created. I'm sure we're going to see something like that. But in this trailer, these characters are not, you know what? They're not fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if this whole world believes, okay, they came back and they were altered by gamma radiation in orbit or whatever. But why does the world, we haven't, other than them being on talk shows and they cook together and they wear these costumes, you'd think that it would open like the movie opens showing this familial team that all four of them, because of their powers, are able to do something that all like a team, like literally like a football team, does something where each person is integral to the accomplishment of a goal. And that could have been a trailer moment, and show us.
And that would have been cool.
Or let's see, like this happens so many times in the comic. Johnny and Ben get in a big fight, and Reed is wrapped around the thing, trying to hold him back from beating the crap out of Johnny. That happened so many times, but I want to see Reed wrapped around him in some convoluted way to hold back as Ben Grimm is, come on. Or like, we're not seeing those iconic moments. It really disappoints me.
No, we're getting a very sanitized, goofy version of the Fantastic Four.
The Disney version.
And the one thing you can't do that with is this particular property. Like, you can't do it, man. I mean, the Fantastic Four is already kind of a niche thing for most comic book readers. They needed to fuck, man. I shouldn't be frustrated. I shouldn't even be fazed by this, but like, stupidity on this level for me is beyond my understanding.
Use your aggressive feelings, Dante.
Look, I don't
understand.
I think Matt Shackman's a good choice to direct. I would like to believe that there's a lot in this movie they don't want to show us. And I'm because there's so little actually here in terms of substance, in terms of there's no storytelling substance here.
Right, but Rob, the problem with that is Disney can't afford to be like this coy. They can't afford this right now.
I agree.
They got to show us the goods, man, because they got to prove. Right?
Is it possible they'll wait till after Superman comes out, let that take the limelight for a couple weeks, and then they hit hard with Galactus stuff, and we see a lot more that we haven't seen. What I'm told from someone within Marvel who has seen the movie, and he said the new cut is even better because it's tighter. That's what I was told. That it's less a superhero movie and more a science fiction movie. By the middle of the movie, you're like, this is a science fiction movie about trying to save the world, not a superhero story.
They've not given us any indication of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Choral, choir music, I think, and I just don't like any of it.
I think like by the time Superman comes out, I feel like it would be too late to start promoting your movie a whole different way. If they start doing that, I feel like that would be more like desperate, like, oh, let's show our movie this way to try and get audiences to come in. It would seem like, oh, this is just like a desperate attempt to get more audience members in to show the movie in a separate way. I would have liked to see, I know that a lot of people don't like too much in trailers, so I can understand people liking these trailers because it doesn't show too much and we want to see, the movie in the theater without too much going in. But this is just like the same shots over and over. Like, we have absolutely nothing besides Fantastic Four and Galactus. What happens? We have no idea.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have, I agree with Rob. I would like to see like maybe a hero moment, but instead every time we get shots of them together, they're standing like right next to each other. That just reminds me of Ant-Man Quantumania when they were all just standing right next to each other. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen like a hero moment between them, maybe instead of individual shots, get a group shot of them fighting together as a family, but we didn't see any of that in this. So
let me ask you this. What do you think the demo thinks of Fantastic Four? 18 to 49. Compared to what does the demo understand of Superman? And to me, the reason I asked the question is I think you have to sell the Fantastic Four much more than you have to sell Superman.
I agree.
To a group of people who aren't as familiar with it as us people older than 50.
Yep.
Yeah. And also, no offense to Matt Shackman. Just to say, no offense to Matt Shackman, but for a movie like this, I don't know if the guy that did WandaVision and 2 episodes of Game of Thrones was who you put in charge of the Fantastic Four.
Well, to be fair, his television directing credits are pretty stellar.
I know, but still, Robert, this just seems such a important movie.
It's too big of a film for him. That's basically what it is. It's too big.
What's up, Dia?
What's up?
I think with the failure of the Thunderbolts, I feel with Ironheart coming out very soon, Marvel can't afford these losses, man. And Fantastic Four, the way they're going about it right now, is just going to be another throwaway.
Yeah,
all right.
Especially in a crowded July.
Especially
in a crowded July where it's just going to get lost in all of these other movies that are out. It's just going to get completely blown out by Superman, Jurassic World, and everything else that's coming out.
And that's really terrible for them because this is their lead-in to Doomsday.
Yeah, this is the beginning of their new phase.
Yeah.
And Ironheart.
Yeah, Marvel needs to take a break so they can competently ruin X-Men.
But I do think I'd like to believe that they're holding a lot of this back, and the ticket sales have been robust. So, I mean, I don't want the movie to fail. It's not good for anybody if another big genre movie fails, but I hope that this movie has a lot more in it than has been promised to us by these trailers.
I think 5 months from now, we'll be talking about Ironheart more than we'll be talking about the Fantastic Four. 5 months from now.
Nah.
Yeah.
I don't think
Probably.
people will be watching Ironheart.
Speaking of Superman, James Gunn just did an interview in Rolling Stone, and I believe we have notes for that story.
He said so much. He
said a lot, and some of it, I believe he's taken little gentle pot shots at Marvel with good reason. And here is the, I guess they're doing this thing with like, what is this? I have to refresh this. This is the cover of this article. What is this? I'm going to refresh it because it gives you like, it's James Gunn on a couch. He picks up a Superman book, and this is the article from rollingstone.com. Superman director James Gunn, you don't want everyone to root for you. DC Studios co-CEO goes deep on his high-stakes take on Man of Steel, the future of his new DC universe, and how getting fired helped him feel loved. If you would, with the story, Badger.
Yeah. Okay. James Gunn's role and vision at DC Studios. This is he said a lot. Gunn is launching a new DC universe, the DCU, with the goal of revitalizing iconic heroes like Superman, Supergirl, and Batman, aiming to rival Marvel's now wobbly dominance. Superman, releasing July 11th, is the DCU's first feature and sets the tone for everything to follow. Gunn describes the project as deeply personal. So he talked about filmmaking philosophy and personal growth. Script first rule. Gunn is adamant about never starting production without a locked script. We just killed the project. Everybody wanted to make the movie. The screenplay wasn't ready. The number one reason the film industry is in trouble is because people are making movies without a finished screenplay. Cracking Superman through Krypto, the key creative breakthrough for Gunn was Krypto the Superdog, based on his own adopted dog. The beginning of the movie is the first thing I wrote, with Krypto coming to Superman in the snow. That really was about the tone. Krypto is less weird than Rocket Raccoon. Gunn argues Rocket made the world ready for Krypto. Krypto is simply a superpowered dog, a poorly behaved one, which is what my dog is. He talks about dialogue and tone evolution. Gunn's Superman is more grounded and less jokey than his Marvel work. I have long talking scenes in Guardians, but they are stuffed with jokes. That's not the case here. Gunn is embracing vulnerability in human conversation. It's about two characters and the different ways they see the world and morality. Gunn admitting that he previously relied on humor as a safety net. Horror and comedy are comforting because if they're working, the audience is reacting constantly. Also talks about leadership style and working with actors. Gunn has become known for helping actors stop overperforming. I'm like, stop. You don't need to juggle. Just be present. Show that natural vulnerability. Do you want to pause? He goes on to talk about Batman.
Is there more? But okay, sorry. Go ahead, Badger.
Oh, he goes on to talk about Batman and Wonder Woman. Batman is the toughest challenge. He wants a clear reason for Batman to exist. He can't just be, we're making a Batman movie because Batman's the biggest character. This is important. I'm not interested in a funny, campy Batman. He's working with the writer of The Brave and the Bold, DC's upcoming Batman reboot. Talking about Wonder Woman is easier because she's been interpreted less often. Every single Batman story has been told. That much material can make him boring. And he goes on a little bit more. He talks about the future of Matt Reeves. There's a little bit of shade here. He says, we don't have a script. Matt's slow. Let him take his time. Let him do what he's doing. God, people are mean. And then with Supergirl, they've changed the name. It is just Supergirl now. Greg Giuseppe has been such a great partner. It's looking amazing. Lanterns and Clayface, both scripts are completed and received Gunn's enthusiastic approval. So fucking good. Repeated praise for their screenplays. And then lastly, the big picture view on the DCU. Gunn rejects the idea that Superman has to carry the whole DCU. Fucking Iron Man wasn't the be all and end all. It wasn't Avatar. This is a direct quote. His focus is on character first. We want to make a movie that people love, that they feel connected to the characters. You see Superman as one piece of the larger mosaic. It's just this one movie. It's not everything. And he did say in another one that all he has to do is make his budget back. But I think we know how much that budget was. So good luck.
Well, I'll say this. There are two quotes that I think stand out. One is I think this was from another article. He said that he keeps repeating the scripts have to be done. He must have had experiences when he was at Marvel where scripts were not done and movies proceeded anyways. That happens all the time. That's not a Marvel issue. That's a Hollywood issue.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, he mentioned that you should be able to dip in and out, that you dip in, you see the story. You don't have to be beholden to seeing everything or knowing every single thing.
It's not homework.
It's not homework. So any thoughts on this article from Rolling Stone and Superman?
Well, Marvel has notoriously started filming without the scripts being finished, because I think like it was Michael Douglas who said that Ant-Man Quantumania, they were writing the script as they were filming it. So yeah, Marvel has done that before. So
Iron Man was exactly that as well. The first Iron Man movie.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, him wanting the scripts like done before filming, perfect. That's the way to go. That way they can fix it before they, start throwing money at it. But I still think that like, give me more James Gunn. Like, I
actually dig everything he said, man. I don't even hide that I'm a James Gunn fan. I think that he's a great director. I trust his vision, and I trust the fact that he at least knows the goddamn characters, right? I do trust in that. I love what he said about Batman, because I've said the same thing. I think that Batman has been just overdone at this point. I don't think we need any more Batman for a while. I think let other characters shine. I love Batman, but I just don't think there's anything new anyone's going to bring to the table right now that's going to help the Batman franchise. It's stuck in this weird limbo with Matt Reeves, which I hope they honestly, I hope they scrap the Matt Reeves Batman too.
I don't want.
Keep saying they're not. He said
I really hope
that
they
one.
do. But I think he's right though. I think that at the end of the day, man, we just need to we need to like Superman. We need to like this Superman. If he gets that one thing right, that we like this guy, that's it. He won. If we like Superman, he won.
Mm-hmm. I like that what he did say about Batman. He did say that we can't bring him in just because he's popular. There needs to be a reason to bring him in, because we saw that with Batman v Superman. They wanted to like really rush that story. They didn't want Batman to have his own movie, and then it like lead into Batman v Superman. They wanted to just rush it, so they just brought him in right away, and that went poorly for Warner Brothers. So him not bringing in Batman right away, I'm not too upset about it. I do hope that Matt Reeves turns in a script and we're able to finish off the Robert Pattinson's Batman. At least one more movie, because Penguin was so good.
He's going to be
slow on a third one.
I want to see more from that.
He is different though, and James, it's not in that quote, but it was in another one where he said because there's a need for him in the DCU, talking about Batman. He goes, and a need he's not exactly the same as Matt's Batman. So they're supposed to be two Batman at the polar ends rather of their Pattinson's only in the first couple of years.
Could you fold Pattinson's Batman into? You don't think
the
so?
Universes are already completely different.
Yeah,
but there is a reference
to what
there is a reference to the Pattinson the Batman movie in Superman. It's very small on one of the screens of the TVs during the news. They talk about the Gotham flood.
Did you say the Gotham flood?
I'm just saying. I think Gunn is leaving it open that he could fold it in. I think Pattinson might be good with David Cornsweet.
Oh,
What
you
do
could have
think?
Pattinson, but I don't think they're universes, especially with the
Right.
I
Penguin,
know
which is
the
not,
way
you know.
the tone of Gotham versus the tone of Metropolis is very different in terms of how do you combine those two
Well,
stories?
they've always been very different.
Yeah, but how do you combine those
Yeah,
two
but-
stories together?
One is different fantastical, where you can imagine the Justice League showing up, and then the other
Yeah.
one is like real world gritty.
Yeah, Gotham's so bad.
Like
even
the Matt Reeves, you can't imagine like a kaiju stomping through the world of a Matt Reeves
Yeah,
Batman.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
just
not at
doesn't
all.
fit.
or Gotham City is so bad, superheroes don't want to go to it.
Well, Batman tells them
Like
to F off
Detroit.
my city.
I mean,
He does do that,
even
but-
the Penguin show was different than the Matt Reeves Batman. I mean, if we're going
Yeah.
to put it like that, I mean, it's they need to have just kind of one tone, or at least a kind of a universal tone.
He
for the
has
most
to do
part.
Batman though. Here's why: because every other thing he's decided to do hinges on the Bat family existing. Teen Titans, all these. So he has to show his Batman, and then he
Sure,
can,
at some
you know.
point, he doesn't have to do it right away, though.
No, but within the next 2 movies, I think. After I've
I
got
don't think
a
he can get too far along.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've got a lot more news, but let's get to super chats here. Badger, if you would, I'm going to take a quick break. But Alan, if you could go from top to bottom with the super chats. But I've got some shocking news coming up. Shocking. I'll be right back.
I feel like he's going to get that shocking news. But...
Jeremiah Hembry, member for 14 months. Can you interview? Yeah, he asked this. Paul Dini.
Oh, okay.
I
Sorry.
don't think he'd like us. Lord Comment for 2, and it dragons on and on and on and on. All right, yeah. Lord Comment for 2. There's a Spaceball 2 trailer 2. It's beautiful. GJJ, member for 3 months. Hi all. Tyler Disney for 10. Love Naked Gun.
Yes.
Lord Comet for 2. Fantastic Four is going to crash and burn. It's going to be glorious. Lord Comet for 2. The Fantastic Four trailers look like Fallout series intros. Cornyn Pugh for 5. I think reason we're not seeing story in these Fantastic Four trailers is because they are hiding stuff they know we are not going to like.
Probably, you never know.
Marty for $4.99. Krasinski as Reed Richards was them showing us they know how to cast, but they won't. It was a big FU to the fans, and we heard them loud and clear. Yep.
100%.
I don't think.
Oh, you want it?
I don't think he wanted to do it.
No, that's why I think he did it. Like, okay, it happens. Spaghetti
I'll do the
monster.
one-off, and that's
yeah.
it.
Lord Comment for 2. Good, bad. We have the gun. Double in. Figs 93 for 2. It should be illegal to make superhero movies.
And
Lord Comment for 2. It's all about the gun play.
Yeah. By the way, when we talk about Naked Gun, Police Squad, come on, folks.
Police Squad.
All right. Okay, so Chris is not back yet. He's pinching it off at the moment.
What are you?
Oh, there he is.
Shaking.
I had to. Yeah, here I am. All right.
Cut off jeans, bro.
We've got.
He's wearing jean shorts.
I gotta get my shorts out, but what can I say? But let's look at this. It's a day at work with Jimmy Olsen. One of the most shocking things about Jimmy Olsen in the new Superman is he's white. That's the
This
thing
is
that
the marketing.
really. Well, how did we get a white
did that
Jimmy
happen?
Olsen?
And
I
he's
have
not
no
gay.
idea. Maybe.
No, he's not.
No, he's
Yeah,
not
that's
gay.
what I hear.
He's
Yeah.
not.
He's got
Let's
Riz,
see.
man. He's got Riz.
Yeah.
Let's take a look
Yeah.
at this quick video here.
I'm Jimmy. This is where I work. Follow me. This is my office at the Daily Planet, aka where the magic happens. We have yeah.
Did you print that bank statement?
I'm gonna get to it. As like head reporter, she's technically on paper above me. I like to think we're equals. She'll sometimes take a tone with me that sounds like she's telling me what to do.
What are you doing?
She it's friendly when she does this. She doesn't mean her tone.
Jimmy, shut up.
Got it. Her tone's more severe than how she means it. That's Clark. Clark's the man. Another reporter at the Daily Planet. He steps out a lot and sort of skips a little bit whenever she looks at him. And that's pretty much it.
By the way, what's that?
Oh, that's those are just friends.
Yep.
I like that. I think
I
that's
did too. I liked it.
I liked it. I think it's fun.
I like that actor too. He plays in the Righteous Gemstones. He's pretty good.
That's good.
He's good.
He was in the Quarry too, that video game, the scary movie video game that was essentially a movie that you could choose your own adventure.
But wait, have you seen some of these other videos that have popped up? I can't believe
Some of them are really good. Where
Have you
they're
seen this one?
Oh, no.
Let's see.
He's illegal in the solar system. I'm illegal in your system. Which one scares you more, babosos?
That's
He's illegal in the solar system. I'm illegal in your system. He came from Krypton. I came from Michoacan. Guess which one scares you more, babosos?
Where is Paulie from Latino Slant?
By the way,
how come
I
he's
saw
not on top of that?
That's actually pretty
I saw
funny.
someone post about this. If you happen to be some Kansas farmers and you found a baby in the field, you are able to adopt that baby. It's a whole state
That's right.
thing. So he is a legal citizen, even if he's an immigrant from Krypton.
Here's another one that popped up. I don't know what's going on here, but let me I gotta refresh this one and we'll see what's up with this. Hang on.
Oh, these are funny.
Yeah, wait. My audio.
Tell them, bats! It's fucking leg day! Bro, first time trying this shit and it got me tweaking. I feel like I can squat a bus. Relax, you still can't outlift Diana. Bro, I'm natty. Saved a whole damn city this morning, now I'm getting humbled by 4 plates. Oh, maybe if you use your legs and fight, it's not so hard. Bro,
Hey, you look hot. We're heading back to our place. You want to come?
Yeah, why not?
Yo, I think she bit it.
Why does that suit look better than
Protein chicks.
movie one?
Anyway, wish me luck, fam.
The S and no collar.
The S and no collar. Yes,
What's up, you fucking law-abiding
Dinner.
citizens? We just finished saving the damn planet, but we don't rest.
All right.
He's not a bad looking Superman, actually.
No, Batman looked
I
good
didn't
too.
know better. I'd say that was AI.
It is.
It is.
I'm thinking
Well,
it
shit.
is. Thinking it is. But look, I think the more we get glimpses into Superman, it's very different from Man of Steel and Zack Snyder.
I'm looking
It's
forward to it more the
different
more I see it.
From Chris Reeves, it is its own thing. The more I see, the more I like. And the opposite is with Fantastic Four. I don't know. What do you guys think? More you
I think
like
the only people who have a problem with this are the Snyder bots, man. And again, I don't understand Snyder guys. I don't get it, dude. Look, I understand you liking a certain director, but backing one of the worst fucking directors in Hollywood, I will never understand the love of Zack Snyder. I really don't.
Well, look, look, Man of Steel.
He made 2 good movies.
I like Justice League, his cut, the Snyder cut of Justice.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah, I do
why
too.
can't I like both? And Rob, you've done
I agree.
recently some late night streams talking about fandom. You know what? I like what he did with Man of Steel. That's one vision, a much more adult. But this Superman that James Gunn is doing, it's more for kids.
They're like
It's
comics.
more
They're all
for
different runs.
kids. It's Superman on a cereal box or the Milk-Bone dog biscuit promotion with crypto. I think this is more of a family friendly, and it's for kids, but not necessarily not for adults, but it has an appeal to children. I think, why can't both coexist?
You know, Chris, yesterday, this is true. I sat down, I did my physical media stream, and I went, and it was hot. I just didn't want to do anything. So I sat down in our movie room and I watched Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the ultimate cut. And I watched half of Justice League, of Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now I like Zack Snyder's vision. I like Man of Steel. I like the portrayal of the DC characters, the godlike nature of them. And I think Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice is, it's an astonishing achievement from a filmmaking standpoint, and from everything about it is, I love the opening with Bruce Wayne running into trouble when Metropolis is being destroyed, all of that Sturm and Drang and the metal apocalypse of what you're watching. But I've always been struck by that movie does not have a moment of levity in it. It is so oppressive and it is so pummeling. And I get it. I mean, it strikes a tone that you don't get from superhero movies, but there's nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
Bathtub, but
well, that's the one scene that. But even that, she's traumatized. You know, she almost was killed, and she watched the Jimmy Olsen of that universe shot in the head in front of her, and that Superman understands. But even that, the whole tone of that scene while he gets in the bathtub, it's her going through horrific, I was almost killed trauma. And now Superman is being set up to have caused the deaths of many people. That film, as much as I admire it, that movie is not fun.
Yeah.
There's not a moment where you put the most fun that I think that I have in that movie is Bruce Wayne and Diana's little stuff going on there. But there's not even a moment of levity anywhere in that film where you can take a breath or smile. It is so oppressive, although it's cool. And I think that's the wrong way to go for a superhero franchise. It doesn't work. You're watching this and you're waiting for Superman to make you smile. There's not even, every time he saves somebody in that movie, like he saves the rocket going up, there's always a massive explosion. There's never a time when there's anything lighthearted where you look at Superman, even like when he goes and he sees the news story and he flies down to Juarez and rescues the little girl out of the thing. There's the slow motion picture of everybody coming up to him and he's turning and kind of looking over his shoulder. It's like, it's this messianic thing. And you're like, it would suck to, it's a great shot, but it would suck to be Superman. That a Superman movie should make the audience want to be Superman. Somewhere in our psyches, we're like, man, it'd be great to be Superman. Those movies do not make you want to be Superman.
Just to be fair, though, to what Dante started, where if you are criticizing the movie, you're a Snyder bro. Come on, man. Plenty of people don't like this movie for various reasons. They're not.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying the people who are going after it the hardest are the Snyder bots. Not
Sure, probably to be sure. The thing is, Snyder, the filmmaking in those movies is extraordinary. I mean, the imagery and the way everything looks and the design, and I like the he's great at casting, and there's a lot of
Jesse Eisenberg, but
you know what? Going back, once you get over that, and he's not, and you can sit down and actually see what he's doing, how he's completely unhinged, and it's
in Elseworlds, and the ultimate
problems
helped him a lot more when you see what he really did, like the orchestrating the flamethrowers to blame Superman, and
it's just the thing about James Gunn Superman is it's going to put a smile on your face, and we haven't had that in a long time from Superman.
Do you think bringing Joss Whedon on for Justice League was kind of the answer to that? In terms of
it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it was terrible.
But it was their answer. I'm not saying the reason he was brought up. I'm not saying the result of what he did to bring on, but do you think they brought him on to bring some of that lightness and levity to?
Oh, totally. But after watching the thing is, Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Zack Snyder's Justice League is a cohesive, really interesting vision. And I think as a thing unto itself, if you're watching it unto itself, it's pretty extraordinary. And there's a lot of really amazing stuff that happens in those movies. It's just that overall, the mood of them, I mean, it's like you're watching an Ingmar Bergman superhero movie.
It's dark Elseworlds.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Well, and that's why I didn't like Man of Steel.
I didn't mind them. I know that I totally get your point of view, Robert. I didn't mind the movies. I think I like them more than a lot of other people do. And I think that like there's no levity, absolutely not. But in my mind, I'm like, well, they're dealing with a lot of serious things and it's being taken seriously. So there's no, that's why there's not those moments where like nobody can breathe, because they are dealing with all these serious things. So that's my sort of like, explanation for it, but I like the darkness, I like the grittiness, and I like the world that he built on their own, separate from everything else.
Now
and
we're
I think
getting
like
the polar opposite.
Yeah, now we're getting the polar opposite, and I'm totally okay with that. Like, as someone who really liked Zack Snyder's Justice League and his whole vision, I'm looking forward to it. I want Superman, a good Superman movie, because I want more DC movies because I love DC, and I just want it to do. I just want more from DC. I want to see more of these characters that I love so much, be put on the big screen. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I don't think
I was
the tone
upset.
of
Yeah.
Zack
Tying in
Snyder's
with-
universe. I don't think the tone of Zack Snyder's universe can last in a 20, 30 superhero universe.
That's why
Marvel Cinematic
Aquaman
Universe style.
made
It's
$1 billion.
No, yeah, absolutely
it's
not.
too heavy.
Yeah, and I
You're
love the
talking
first
about-
Aquaman.
Yeah, but it was bright and you know
It
what I'm
was
saying?
bright,
It was a
yeah.
breath.
Yeah, Wonder
It was a
Woman was
breath
actually
from
bright.
all
And that's why it's
Yeah.
the best attended, along with Jason Momoa, obviously. But I mean, it's the only one that made $1 billion. So it does show that people want something more brighter and not as oppressive and not as dark. And so they felt they had to change tones, and that's why Zack Snyder is gone. It has nothing to do with necessarily the quality of the movies themselves, although I think that does play a small part in it. But mostly it's, hey, this is just way too dark. And I don't think audiences around the world are feeling this anymore. And, maybe the first couple of movies was solid, but then it's like, nope, we're done. And, we want something more bright, more hopeful, more cheerful. Like Rob said, you want to become Superman. You want to be Superman when you grow up. Not, that seems like a chore.
I think I liked it. I liked it because at the time it was totally different than what Marvel was giving us.
Right.
So that's why I liked like the contrast of them. And I thought,
They
well,
should've got-
DC is a lot darker, so I liked the tone of all of these things. So it was completely different from Marvel.
But you know what? It's not.
And then
DC
we got the Flash movie, and I was just like, oh god, this is terrible.
DC wasn't dark when I was growing up, though. Like I grew up with the Super Friends, and that was like my introduction to the DC character. So it's like it really
I
never
grew up
was
with
that
Keaton.
dark.
It was dark.
Yeah, like later down the line, it definitely became dark,
Yeah.
especially post Watchmen and the Dark Knight Returns and all of that. Then it became like super gritty and grounded. Maybe Zack Snyder should have did like the Injustice adaptation. Maybe that would have been a better fit for Zack Snyder.
Could you do a Batman that isn't dark, but also not goofy like Adam West, 66?
But the Dark Knight did a great job.
do that.
The Dark Knight, Nolan's Dark Knight did a great job of that because
I
Heath
agree.
Ledger's performance, that stuff was dark, but he was wildly entertaining. I mean, the guy dresses up as a nurse in that movie.
Yeah.
But
so
that movie was dark, man. Like there was nothing light about the Dark Knight. I mean, there was like a little moments of funny, but
the thing is, it was dark, but still, it had the soul of it was not oppressive, oppressive to the point where you wanted to take a shower afterwards.
And
I mean, there was
the whole time.
There was an entertainment value to what Heath Ledger was doing. Like he
There was
knew
romance. You had a romance going on in there with Bruce trying to still get with Rachel. It's like there was still a little bit of love. You can't just. Was there any love
and
any
Morgan
romance in
Freeman's
any of Zack Snyder stuff?
Lucius Fox's relationship with Bruce was great too.
Yeah.
Here we go. All 7 Superman
that
movies ranked from worst to best. What do we got coming in at the
Superman
worst?
4.
Coming in at the worst, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice at the worst.
No.
Next, Superman 4: Quest for Peace.
There we go.
There you go.
That was the worst.
Oh my
next,
god.
Superman Returns. Following that, Man of Steel 2013.
Wow.
Following that, Superman 3.
That
which I
needs to
was
go to the
not a
worst
fan
one.
of.
That's
was
way
terrible.
too high.
That is pretty
That was
bad.
bad. Superman 2, and then
Ooh, but which
Superman
one?
number 1.
I would switch
there you go.
Superman 2 and Superman.
Because if it's the Donner cut, 1 and 2 have to be up there. But if it's the
I
Lester
don't know.
cut,
This just
Yeah.
was.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I don't know. Do you agree with this ranking? What do you
I
think?
don't agree at all. Superman 4 has to be the worst, and then Superman 3,
Yeah.
and then the rest can follow.
So Man of Steel isn't in this movie in this list because it's not called Superman.
it was there.
No, it's on there.
It was there.
Oh, it is
was
on
there.
there.
It was there. It was right
Yeah.
after.
Oh,
This is at
Sorry.
in order: Dawn
No,
of
it's good.
Justice, Quest for Peace, Returns, Man of Steel.
okay, I missed. I don't know why I missed that. I'm
Yeah,
an idiot.
yeah. Superman, but Superman 3, I remember disliking it at the time.
I hated it.
And
It was so bad.
yeah,
Is that the one where they
I
did kind of
love
the
Richard
slapstick
Pryor,
thing at the
and I
beginning?
It's
hated
Richard
Yes.
Pryor, the computer, and they don't. Is it John Cryer also comes in as the annoying
That's in
cousin?
4.
Yes.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Start blending together.
You know what though? The opening of Superman 3 when they're walking through the metropolis is pretty fun. It's a slapsticky thing, but it's
Oh, that was
it's
awful.
Why slap?
it's fun.
I
But
hated
when-
that. It's like Superman doesn't.
I agree. Yeah, Superman 3 is not better than Man of Steel or Returns. I rewatched Superman Returns, and I was just like, oh, it's not as bad as I.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, I
If he
like
had
it.
fought someone at the end instead of just lifting the mountain, it would not get the hate that it does.
Yeah.
I've got.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Oh, no. Rest in peace, Steph.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh no.
Oh my
I'm really
gosh.
upset about this Superman listing.
Come back soon. Okay.
Sorry,
Big
I killed
news.
the chair once. So
Hey, I'd like to intro these stories. So let me set it up, and you can talk over me all you want. Kathleen Kennedy introduces a screening of a 1977 print of Star Wars. Here it is from the Hollywood Reporter here. Looks terrible in screening of long lost original 1977 version. I have questions, and I will show you. There is video of her introduction of the screening. My quick question is, why was she introducing this movie? She had nothing to do with making it.
She was validating the screening to show that it wasn't a bootleg screening or that it was an endorsed screening.
Right. That was the reason. But I do have notes for this story?
Yeah.
If you would.
Feels icky. Feels like you got into your parents' home videos and were watching them without permission.
Right.
Is that what it said?
A nearly pristine original 1977 print of Star Wars was unearthed and screened for the first time in decades, offering diehard fans and cinephiles a rare look at George Lucas's unaltered vision before decades of edits and special editions. Held by the British Film Institute and introduced by Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, the event showcased a version of the film that Lucas has long refused to screen publicly, preserving it in cold storage for nearly 50 years. Despite its aged visuals and outdated effects, attendees found the experience revelatory. Critics noted that the film's raw, handmade charm from visibly cobbled together sets to clunky robot slapstick, which gave it a tangible, almost theatrical appeal that many felt made it more authentic and emotionally resonant than the polished revisions. Reviewers described the screening as feeling like watching the film for the first time, with surprising appreciation for the subtle changes Lucas made over the years, from cleaned up voice work to added background detail. Ironically, the original flaws threw Lucas's controversial edits into a new light, with fans admitting that not all of his changes were misguided. Still, the screening's loudest cheers came when Han Solo shot Greedo first, restoring a moment many fans believed defined the character. Lucas, who famously dismissed the original cut as an unfinished version he never wanted released, once claimed it doesn't really exist anymore, but for one night, thanks to BFI and a very cold film vault, it did, and reminded audiences of the gritty, imaginative spirit that launched a galaxy of fandom. He's since been quoted many times saying, "I'm sorry you fell in love with a movie that was half finished," as far as him editing it.
Yeah. I do have video of Kathleen Kennedy talking about it. If you'd like to see really quick, we can watch some. Here it is from the actual screening.
Within Lucasfilm now. Oh, it's incredible folklore. I have to say that even when I came into the company, there was endless conversation about where everything was and what was, in fact, the first print. And it's quite remarkable. What you're going to see is, in fact, the first print. And I'm not even sure there's another one quite like it. Yeah. You know, it's that rare. There's so much tinkering that's gone on over the years and things that George decided, oh, I'm going to change this. I'm going to try that. And then everybody kind of lost track of what it was. Although I understand, Edgar, are you in here?
Is that Edgar Wright?
Because your brother is in here. And I understand you may know far more than I do.
I don't want to intro the film.
Listen, I feel we could get more value out of this room tonight, but we don't have time. We have to screen it again after this. That just adds to the special nature of this evening.
It is. It's quite remarkable to be able to experience this exactly the way it was in 1977. This is really special. really special.
And in terms of the film itself, I mean, the universe of Star Wars now has become so expanded. And I do want to say Andor has been fantastic.
Is he done?
Such a fan of Andor. And sort of thinking about how the world has expanded now, I also wondered within, as you bring filmmakers into Lucasfilm to think about making films that add to the Star Wars universe, does the film, not the print, but the film itself, does it exist as the sort of the stone tablet? Do filmmakers go back to it?
No, I would say that this is the film that everyone starts with. When we start talking about story, we start talking about George's intent, what it is we're trying to build off of. It is the gold standard. There's no question.
And I mean, we'll definitely really experience that. I watched about 5 minutes of this print when we were researching for it, and it is interesting how far back in time it takes you, and you really experience the joy of the sets and the practical effects, where you can enjoyably see the edges of some of them as well. Enjoyably experience the edges. It revolutionized filmmaking at the time. It revolutionized effects. I wondered what excited you now about the future of cinema and the future of...
Well, I think what George created with ILM, and we did a really wonderful documentary, if you haven't been able to see it, in 6-part series on the beginning of ILM. And it really does capture what was so unique about George's vision with where cinema could go. And that's something that we try to carry on in every single thing we do.
Oh, you fucking liar.
We're only halfway
Fucking
through
liar.
I'm sorry.
You're
guys,
only
stop,
halfway
please.
through
What
this intro.
happened?
She's such a
This
liar. They do not think of George's intention. Sorry,
Not
go ahead,
at all.
Steph. Kill.
Not at
Go.
all. Not
In
at all.
Minecraft.
It's infuriating because she's talking about how George's vision and this movie, and we had to preserve it. And now we're presenting it to you without all of these changes. And it's so special, considering all of the damage that this woman has done to Star Wars and all of the decisions that they made after getting all of the rights signed to them from George Lucas. It's just it's wild to me how she's talking about this as it's something that is so incredibly special to her and needs to be preserved. Get the fuck out of here, Kathleen Kennedy. I don't believe a word that comes out of this woman's mouth.
She's a diplomat. She sounds
full
like a
on Harry
politician.
Potter. How dare you? How dare you stand where he stood? Like, ugh.
Yeah. Should we watch more of this or
Please?
a little bit more?
It's a constant
Super chat him to
conversation.
stop.
Innovation is something that we know keeps pushing cinema forward. And it's all based on the past.
It seems like just an executive. I mean, I just got done watching The Studio on Apple TV. I'm going to talk about it this week. It's really good with Seth Rogen. I know, I'm sorry, but it's such, you see the BS. It's just, again, like you, Steph, I don't believe her. I think she came in, especially what they did to George, what she did to George, betraying him. Mm-hmm. George thought, hey, you're going to make these Star Wars movies. I trust you. Here's my outlines, my scripts for what should happen.
Do you guys understand why George Lucas hated the Hollywood system and he hated Hollywood in general? Because of this shit. He doesn't like it. He's a creative, he's out of the mud. He got his shit out of the mud. He did not, inherit somebody's franchise that was already pre-built. No, George built it up from the ground up. Okay. So you're seeing the reason why he doesn't like Hollywood. These executives, they're only concerned about the money. How much money how much can I make off of this? All right. How many times can I spin this off? How many different ways can I milk this IP, down to the bones? And now it's ruined. It's absolutely ruined because you don't have a creative at the helm. Star Wars and Lucasfilm were birthed by a creative, an actual creative, and he wanted it to stay independent for this reason. And this, you're seeing the results of what happens when the executives. Kathleen Kennedy probably is a fine producer. I'm not going to take anything away from her producing talents, but she's not a creative. She doesn't create things. She just helps directors and artists, achieve their visions, but she doesn't create it herself. She stood on the shoulders of, Spielberg and her husband and various other folks, and that's how she got where she got. You know, but you need a creative at the helm of Lucasfilm because it was a creative that started Lucasfilm. I don't think you can head it up with just some random Hollywood executive to be the head of the studio. I don't think that's going to work.
Dave Filoni will do it.
He'll show up. Dave Filoni.
What was really
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
Well, what was depressing about this was to hear people talk about Star Wars like if it was cobbled together back in the olden times. Whereas what they saw, I don't think people understand necessarily what a Technicolor print is. Technicolor is a dye process, and Technicolor was a company that was actually founded in 1915. So when you're seeing it, there's only, I think, 4 Technicolor prints of Star Wars. I only knew of 3 up until this. I don't know if this is the third, but there were 4 Technicolor prints of Star Wars that survive. Why a Technicolor print is significant? One, it hasn't been run, but Technicolor prints don't fade because, like, you make a movie on celluloid, they turn pink. Technicolor is a dye process where you basically take black and white film or black and white celluloid and you dye it. So the colors don't fade ever. And seeing something like this would have been spectacular, but everybody talking about it, like these bloggers talking about it, like, oh, you can see how it's cobbled together. I mean, this is Star Wars that existed from 77 to 97 until the special edition came out. It's not like they changed everything.
It's just cardboard with lights on it.
I mean, that's the most ridiculous stuff and remember, people forget when Star Wars was originally released, there were different versions of it. For instance, there was a mono version of Star Wars that wasn't in stereo. So there was, the soundtracks were different. There was some sound effects you actually didn't hear on the mono versions that were in because Dolby Stereo was a new thing back then. So there was the 35 version, there was the 70 millimeter version, there was the mono version. So Star Wars has had different iterations, and sometimes they've been preserved in home video, but this is the way Star Wars looked for 20 years. So to see this, it would have been pretty spectacular, but it was the Star Wars we all grew up with. The special edition added things and, changed things and removed things. So they made it sound like this is some weird cobbled. This is Star Wars. This was probably the purest Star Wars you could have ever seen. And it's too bad that they don't take this and do I would have done an 8K transfer of this print.
And Rob, you mentioned the Unearthed Technicolor print. I here have, I'll show you some video from a little mini documentary from the archives at BFI. This is looking at the print. I'll play some of this.
To have seen this
we can
print
play it
in
silent to
production
look
and
at
heard
it
was
like
really transporting.
It's a film that changed popular culture. It's omnipresent in our lives, and you can see this was the very same object that did have that enormous impact on people of all generations.
Looking at it, I'm just gonna mute the audio. We can see this, but you can see like the care that went into this. And you're right. I remember I saw Star Wars 7 times over the summer it came out. And there were I believe it only opened in 10 theaters. They were making changes after those first 10 prints were sent out.
Yeah.
There were audio changes with the tractor beam. There was a close-up that said the words tractor beam. He changed that to Arabesh. You remember that, Rob?
But that was later though.
So like I'm saying, as you've said, there have been so many minute changes made to it as it's gone. To see the very first one that went out when we all saw it that summer, well, people like you and
no, it's interesting. They just showed a clip that said episode 4.
I know that wasn't there.
That wasn't there in the original. So I'm now curious as to know, was there episode 4 in the version they screened? Because if so, then that's
they
a
said
later.
There wasn't. They said it
when
just
did
said
they
Star
add
Wars.
that?
Yeah,
I don't remember episode 4 appearing in the first run of.
It didn't appear until Empire.
Yeah,
it was when he realized,
1980.
oh shit, I have to make the other ones. I need to now recontextualize that I took the best parts out of the third one, and
yeah. Well, I mean, the first
started getting subtitles.
First Star Wars had to be successful in order for him to do that, and thank God he did. Yeah. But I turned 60 in 2 years. Let's get one of these prints and show it for my birthday.
There was one up in Seattle.
Well, I mean, what's going to happen in 2027? It'll be the 50th anniversary of Star Wars. It will be there will be Star Wars Celebration will be here in Los Angeles. So
if it's still there.
Yeah, but what print will they show?
Well, all I'm saying is I only care about one guest at Celebration, and that's George Lucas.
Yeah.
That should be, and it'll probably be when they announce they're going to remake Star Wars. Look, they remade Star Trek with a new cast, a new Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. They're remaking Harry Potter with a new Harry, Ron, and Hermione. They're gonna remake Star Wars. I didn't believe it, but the more I've seen what Disney has done, it's their last move.
You're fulfilling prophecy, Chris. This is what Gary used to say all the time, that you'll know it's truly over when they remake it. But if they say that no other canon from Disney counts, and they go right back to George's expanded universe and they start with the original movies, they may save it. Maybe. Probably not, though.
Yeah. I'm convinced they'll probably do it. What do you guys think?
They've killed everything else. Why not this?
Yeah, if you're still holding on to hope for Star Wars, man, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I'm not holding out hope. I'm saying we're watching the end, right?
Yeah. But the end was a while ago, right? I mean, I thought the end was the Acolyte. Like that was like the end.
Yeah.
I think the end is the Force Awakens.
For Marvel, it was bringing Robert Downey
still...
Jr. back, right? And for Star Wars, it was redoing the original movies.
Well, this is on par. Disney made the live actions to replace all of Walt's classics. Now it's time to replace Lucas's classics.
Yeah.
Let's reboot Indiana Jones too while we're at it.
I mean, they might.
Yeah, they just need a new regime. They need to get whoever's running Lucasfilm. Everybody needs to be just gone. They've done a terrible job handling one of the biggest franchises on the planet, if not the biggest. And
just because you all asked for it.
But we're constantly we can reinvent the future. So,
but still feel
all right. I can't take it.
Well, I heard rumor that she's retiring soon. So
really,
yeah, I heard the same rumor.
Yeah, there's rumors she's waiting to retire.
Looking,
she's going to retire on a victory, and I've heard that Andor has amazing critical acclaim. So let's just call that a victory, and she can retire.
That's honestly, that's the best win she's going to get. Andor was the win she needed. That's it.
Go back to her crypt and wait until she needs to ruin something else from George's.
Well, her husband made 2 great documentaries. She can go out on those. Yeah.
Well, hey, we've got Rob Burnett here, who is a Star Wars aficionado.
Why you got to pick on me?
And Star Trek.
A cunning linguist and a master debater.
Rob knows more about Star Trek than anyone I know. Which is why Me Up Sulu, the trailer reaction to Me Up Sulu.
Wait, what?
Something Rob must see. Have you seen this, Rob?
Yeah, and I've seen the movie that it's talking about too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know anything about this. I can't wait. And the reason I want to show it is to ask you a question. This will be a fun thing to end the show on. Here we go.
Oh my.
First memory of Star Trek is, I guess it would be Sulu. George Takei was the guy on TV that looked like me, and I liked what I saw on that show. So we decided to do fan film. We wanted to play Star Trek.
Oh, I was just a way for me to meet hot chicks.
What?
Speaking of money,
they were filming on weekends while they were still in school.
We just wanted to have fun. I had no idea that this thing was going to balloon into this. Sulu is my favorite character, and I thought it would be really neat to have him in my movie.
George Takei was well paid as a Hollywood actor, and a kid asked him, "Would you be in my film?"
This is wild.
He seemed like that passionate young man who was going to do it come hell or high water. So I thought, yes, okay.
Oh my God. Why the fuck did you do that?
Oh my.
It is truly fascinating that this got made, and it involved people who you would not associate with sort of a super amateur, low-budget fan film.
Your crew has been notified to resume duty.
We also have James Shigeta. You might recognize from Die Hard.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
Takagi.
Star Trek meant something to them. It is about being a brotherhood, a sisterhood, a themhood of everybody
Star Trek was so forward thinking.
Star Trek took it on itself to actually subtly edify
How to deal with race relations, how to deal with gender inequality.
Not only trans representation, but a little bit of queer representation.
The strength of this starship lay in its diversity. And because the audience is diverse, they would see themselves.
I'd watch him sit there, warp 8, warp 9. And then you're sitting there thinking, yeah.
You're growing up and you're watching TV, you just want to see somebody that looks like you on a show.
A drone must have landed here.
When Stan was ready to start working on it again, he couldn't find the film footage.
I think my mom moved it or something, and it disappeared.
I was used to that the movie would never be finished.
The fan film was 36 years in the making.
Now that's dedication.
If you want to look at it as a film critic, you got to do thumbs down on some parts of it. But that isn't the gesture that they were looking for. They were looking for this one, and I'm happy to give it to them.
Yeah, not a good movie, but as an expression of Star Trek love, it's fantastic.
Passion is an important thing. More people should have that.
I know that this is going to be a great success. May you all live long and prosper.
I for one, will watch it.
I
I
wanna see
love
it.
fan films, but Rob, since we have you here, in 20 years, maybe 30 years, will we see Axanar? Will there be a documentary about Axanar or a finished? What I've seen of Axanar is amazing. I mean, you showed me stuff. I visited the set.
Yeah.
I mean, in progress. I went to a panel that you did at Comic-Con at the library that was, I mean, putting all the controversy aside.
Yeah.
This movie was made in 1985, only recently finished. Will we see in 20 years, maybe 10 years, the Axanar film, or maybe even a documentary about that experience?
Well, I think you'll see a documentary. I mean, Alec has been promising he'll finish Axanar forever, but the people that made Prelude to Axanar, all the team is gone. And it became it started out as this great thing. For those of you who don't know, there was a Star Trek fan film called Prelude to Axanar. They asked for $10,000. They made $100,000, and you can see it on the internet right now. It's 21 minutes long. I was the editor and post-production supervisor on it. It stars like Tony Todd. It stars Richard Hatch. It stars Gary Graham playing Soval again. So it had a lot of legitimacy and a lot of Hollywood people behind it. It was directed by Christian Gossett. And we made it, and it was great. And then the short film ended up generating over $1 million crowdfunding. And we basically rented a warehouse. We were going to use it as a permanent studio facility to make fan films and other films. And then the guy who controlled it, his ego took over. He got rid of everybody that made the first film great and decided he wanted to do it himself, and sort of took it. He took all the money. But he's still been working and trying to get it finished. Now, believe it or not, he's teamed up with a sex cult for real. And they're bankrolling getting Axanar finished.
It's sex cult. What is that?
Dude, there.
Nexium 2.0?
No, it's like that. It's called like the Magical Mystery School. I think there's a documentary, like Vice did a documentary on them, and somehow, and this is the great thing about Alec, he hooks up with these guys. They recently dropped a fan film where they put the two leaders of the two cult leaders in these fan films, and they named one of the cult leaders is like from Norway and believes he's the reincarnation of Thor. I kid you not. It's gone so off the rails.
You have to make a documentary.
Paul Jenkins, who created The Sentry, replaced me as the director of the Axanar feature film. Before then, he too left, is making a documentary about it. So, but yeah, it's like the Magical Mystery School. You can look it up. Gudny Gunderson is the name of one of the guys who runs it. He's the guy who thinks he's Thor. There's a whole documentary about this cult, but that's the Axanar story is the craziest thing ever. But the story of Yorktown: A Time to Heal, I put a link, by the way, in the private chat where you can watch the movie itself. Once they found the film, it was a labor of love, and they finished it, and it's fun.
Wow. Thank you, Rob. Yorktown: A Time to Heal.
Yorktown: A Time to Heal. But you can go see Prelude to Axanar. And then I did a scene. I did a proof of concept called the Vulcan scene to show how we might do the feature film. And we're in the process of making an Axanar feature. And then we got sued by Paramount. And if you want to see what I was doing as the director, I did Axanar Origins. I did 3. That's about the 3 of them come up to about 50 minutes. And you can see everything I was working on to make the Axanar feature film before we were sued. So those are all on my YouTube channel.
You're not allowed to make good Star Trek, Robert. Sorry, we need Section 31 only.
Yeah, and that's the irony is that, you know, we get sued, and then of course they go make Section 31.
Yeah.
Alan, what'd you think of this trailer?
Oh, look good. Why? What are you asking?
I'm just asking what you think of the trailer.
Feel represented?
Well, I'm looking at the.
Do you feel
did I
seen?
see myself? Did I see myself?
Yeah, that's
Sulu,
my question.
Sulu is Japanese, right? Then
Yeah.
no, I didn't see myself.
What about that other guy?
Great. All right. One last thing, because we have to end early today. Sort of a fun thing I want to show. Brad Pitt. Who doesn't love Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise? Legitimate, maybe our last movie stars. And here's Brad Pitt asked about working with Tom Cruise. I'm just going to play this. It's a very short clip. Here we go.
Tom Cruise is out there singing the praises of this film. What does that mean to you to get the support of a guy like that?
Oh, it's so sweet, you know. He's sweet. Yeah, we did have our go-kart days back in the 90s, early 90s.
When
Yeah.
can we get you guys together in a film? Again.
Well, I'm not going to hang my ass off airplanes and shit like that. So when he does something again that's on the ground.
In the go-kart days, who was faster, you or Tom?
He got me in the end. I got to tell you. I got to admit.
So there you go. F1 is coming out soon. So looking forward to that. I don't know. I thought that's fun. I don't know. Did they really used to go-kart? Who knows?
Yeah, when Tom Cruise talked about that when they were making an interview with a vampire, and he was saying that Brad Pitt was actually a better driver than him.
I'd watch them again in a movie.
Oh hell yeah!
I'm going to watch that F1. I don't care about racing, but that movie looks good.
I'm going to F1.
Yeah,
I got tickets for. Yeah. There is a early fan screening a week from today at AMC, so I'll be there a week from today.
You know, Chris, there's a great article. I want to say it was either in Variety or Hollywood Reporter about Apple and one of the guys who's a huge investor in F1. He's one of the greatest drivers in the world, and he's also an executive producer of F1. And it's about their involvement with F1 as a sport. It's a really great article worth reading. It also delves into how the film was financed and how it was made. Really interesting stuff.
Let's get to Soups here.
Absolutely. John Smith for $9.99. DA, my bro. And I saw Ballerina again over the weekend. He loved it and recommended it to his friend as well. We won't let anti-intellectual gender baiters ruin this film for us. Fight like a girl.
I liked it. I think
I liked
Ballerina is one of the best.
I liked it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's girl boss fatigue, unfortunately. Rossi for $1.49 super sticker. I'm assuming it's a peach, probably, because butt stuff. Aaron Charman for 10. I saw RoboDoc the other day. Really interesting to see how it came about and what RoboCop was based on. Like Judge Dredd and Blade Runner. Highly recommend it. This audience would love it.
Nice.
Pilgrim Media for 2. Marshall Lucas, edited Star Wars for the win. Lord Comet for 2. If they reboot Star Wars as a girl boss movie, I will riot.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
Leia is a girl
Coming
boss.
soon.
By the way, Ballerina has outgrossed the original John Wick.
Oh, well.
So there you are.
Of course, it costs more money to make, but
Yeah, that's the
Orange Ugandan for 2. Hail to the panel. Great show as always. Thank you for the mods. Thread. All because Drunk Theo said orangutan wrong one time. Orange Ugandan.
Orange Ugandan. Orange
It was,
Ugandan.
it was Jeremy Orange Ugandan.
It was
Oh, was it
Jeremy.
Jeremy?
That's
Oh,
right. He
it was
can't
Jeremy.
pronounce it. He can't pronounce it. So there you go.
Canonically,
All right.
there you go.
That wraps it up for us today. Everyone, plug your channels.
Stephanie, My Nerdy Home. Come and check me out. I'll have some more videos uploaded. I was out of town all last week, so I'm catching up on stuff this week.
Hey, Dante from Riot on Rumble, YouTube, and X. VRL will be back this Thursday, 6 p.m. PST.
Yo, what's up, everybody? The DA. Check me out on the Nightcap Tuesdays and Thursday evenings, and then, of course, the DA's office every Sunday.
Hey, I'm Rob Burnett, over from the Burnett Work on YouTube. Find me there, Instagram, all those places, and I'll just be doing more streams.
Badgercast. We'll talk about all the things. Chat, I hear you. Sorry, it was Jeremy. Sorry. White people all look the same to me. Sorry. Jeremy, not Drum 3PO.
Jeremy. It was Jeremy. That's right. I love Jeremy. All right, that wraps it up. Sorry we have to end early today. We'll be back next week. Everybody, thank you so much. Thank you to those who sent in a super chat, support the channel. Thanks to all of my panelists here. Love you guys. We're getting together later this week. I think DA Dante will be at my place for maybe
for a special screening.
Yeah, if you're a member of the channel, you are going to get a treat. So we'll leave it there. Thanks, everyone. See you next week. Alan, what do you got to say for yourself?
Let's get out of here.
All right, let's go.